Welcome everybody to Nodnarb's Closet, the whorish, dirty closet that it is. I'm your host, Stuart, also aka Tom Tickle, who's also currently dealing with being bloated and IBS. Here with me today is Matt from Totally Not Panicking. Matt,
Hello.
do you deal with IBS?
I would say that no, I am blessedly regular.
More into this, Matt, because this is the reason why we put you on the podcast. This is a medical condition podcast. Have you ever shat your pants and then turned around and threw those pants in the trash, and then the next morning blamed it on somebody else? Have you ever done that?
No
like
comment.
The dog or
no comment.
Or another friend?
No comment.
Okay.
No comment.
All right. We did sign an NDA during this, and I'm sorry if I've...
Outside, you haven't violated it yet.
Okay. One thing I will tell you, Matt is one of the most serious people that I've ever met in my entire life.
That's true. It's true.
And he has given me a lot of stress and put me under panic.
That's true. That's true.
Please call someone.
Okay.
While we're waiting for the authorities to arrive, I just wanted to get into a little bit. Hey, man, I've been following you. This is like the gush portion.
Okay.
I've been following you for the past 2 years.
Oh, nice.
I was one of those individuals, like probably 96% of the community that thought that they couldn't paint, and then finally tried painting.
Yeah, so I can't paint either, so you can join. I'm with you in that 95.
We're going to go the humble route.
Yeah, well, that's true.
We're going to go the humble route.
It's true, absolutely.
Well, I mean, this is completely different from what you were threatening me like 5 minutes ago.
I know. If you don't extol me, I will walk. So keep it coming.
He will. He will. He brought that up beforehand.
It's true.
I continue on the gush because I'm just going to kiss your ass. This is a kiss your ass portion.
Okay. All right. Medical, and then kissing ass. I like it.
Go straight from IBS to kissing ass.
Yes.
And you can go ass to mouth. That's fine.
It's fine.
Because nobody's judging. We don't kink shame on this show. Typically, other shows they may, but we try and stay away from that crowd.
Not you.
No, man. Your stuff was some of the stuff because whenever everybody gets into the hobby, or at least whenever I did, you start watching some people on YouTube that probably you don't want to associate with in real life after you realize that you're watching. You just get to know kind of the just less entertaining, not so informative type stuff out there that I know a lot of the community people that I spoke to are just kind of fed up with. But then you start to get into the hobby and start to meet new people, which, by the way, I was in the music scene there for a long time. This has been one of the most inviting groups of people that I've ever been around in my entire life.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Everybody that I've met that's sort of like interested in what we're interested in is, sweet, kind, humble, willing to offer advice and, about anything. So yeah, it's been really nice and really welcoming.
What made you say anything, Matt? Was there like a particular was somebody giving you
volition? My ability to choose, I think. That's usually
you had a conversation. You had a conversation with the Hive Scum guys, and you were like, "So we need to talk about volition."
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Just like everybody, just asleep immediately. Yeah, that's what I'm like. I'm like a nighttime guy. I just put you to bed.
That's weirdly inviting.
Yeah,
in a very strange. I don't know if you've labeled yourself as a teddy bear now. Or...
Yeah, hey, whatever. Whatever floats your boat.
That's very well. I mean, we had a discussion before this. Racism and sexism doesn't float
does not float my boat. Yeah, that's
there's not
fair.
a single
Floats
bit
no
of
one's boat.
Racism's kind of like flat air, like
Yeah, exactly. Not
I wouldn't even give it that. Yeah,
not good.
I mean, some would say, probably not a good thing.
No, I some would say. I think all would agree. I don't know. Whatever. Don't be racist.
Yeah, well, I would hope well, I mean, it's a wishy-washy. We don't know who's listening right now, and some of the people that are listening from Missouri, so we could get a distorted crowd. We never know. My home state. Go Missouri.
Go Missouri.
All right, so I know that you've gone through this on several of your other interviews, whether they be like blogs or I don't know if have you done a podcast before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of these are going to be kind of more of the basic stuff.
That's fine.
Really, my vision for this channel is really to bring more awareness to this type of stuff because we have a great community. Could be more people to add to that.
Yeah, definitely.
How did you first get into all this? Like, were you a kid and were playing this type of shit?
Yeah, I mean, my parents were divorced, so I like monster manuals as much as the next kid did with divorced parents. And, I just grew up doing fantasy stuff and reading monster manuals and playing fantasy games and stuff. And eventually I came to Warhammer when I was 16 or a teenager, a young teenager. Played, but didn't really paint for almost that whole time. Fell out until, I don't know, just before the pandemic, 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. Picked it back up again to play D&D, and then just kind of been cruising ever since.
Yeah, I have a similar story, but I kind of got back on D&D whenever I went over to Italy whenever I was living there for a little bit.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
around the same time, start getting into painting was because of the pandemic. But,
yeah. We were gonna have some people over, and I was like, we got to play D&D with minis, and that got me to here.
Right. So you're openly admitting now to breaking lockdowns and
pre-pandemic
mask mandates.
Pre-pandemic.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't know I was just curious if I mean we're within the statute of limitations here. Clearly, politicians are able to do it, so we can't do it.
That's right.
That's right. No, man. Hey, so in doing so too, were you in the music scene whatsoever? Whenever beforehand,
yeah, I mean, I think as much as anybody is, I went to basement shows and stuff like that for, I don't know, as long as I've been able to get out of my house and do things independently. So yeah,
right.
I go see shows for sure. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not
I'll be more
because there's there's scene kids and being a part of the scene and being in it and that kind of stuff. And I just went to go see the stuff that I liked. So yeah, I absolutely love shows, love hardcore, but I wouldn't say that I was in a scene or of the scene or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
I've just most definitely. Yeah, it just seems like a lot of people that I've come across were either in bands or listening to metal or a lot of the same music types that I listen to, whether it be hardcore or metal or post metal or
right. Yeah.
what have you.
Yeah, totally. All the weirdo freak shit, that's the good stuff. And I, minis are an easy extension of that, right? It's sort of you're able to embrace the strange side of it and strange art, I guess, and make it your own. I think in a way that's really tactile and material. It's really fun to do.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, that's half the reason why being in a band, moving on to D&D,
right.
That was always considered you play D&D, and
Absolutely.
then the movie comes out, and everybody's like, "Oh, D&D's like the greatest thing ever."
It's true.
It's like,
it's true.
We know.
We know. Yeah, buddy. We've been here. Welcome.
Yeah,
welcome
we're
on board.
fully aware.
Right, welcome
I'm
on board.
a nerd now.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. That's good. Let people be nerds, man. Let them
I mean, let people be people.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's the message today.
100%. 100%.
Let people be people.
Let people be people. Let them do their thing, man.
Let them shit in their pants. Let them throw their underwear and in the trash can, and let them blame it on everybody else.
If that's what you want to do,
and
that's who it is.
Just keep shitting.
That's right.
Just
got
keep
to.
shit. You can paint with shit, probably.
You could, I suppose.
Probably yeah. Is there anything particular that you kind of in the beginning and maybe kind of like later on what you kind of still struggle with painting wise in the hobby or even kit bashing or what have you?
Motivation, I think, probably just like anybody else, and then so just staying motivated to paint, staying motivated to kit bash, like wondering why you're doing any of it in the first place, like those like existential questions. I guess those creep up. It's like, what am I doing right now? Oh, this is fun. That's what I'm doing. So, I mean, I think my challenges are the same as anybody else's. You like you sit down to paint and you're like, I'm not any good. And then you do it and you're like, maybe I'm all right, and just sort of working through the sort of like the doubt and the sort of doing it for yourself and, just like the, so
I do it only for the serotonin boost. Yeah. It's literally like ingrained in me that I have to have people's attention. It's not the only reason, but it's a great feeling. I mean, It's like that serotonin hit is like fucking crack.
Yeah, it's so good.
Which I constantly do.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep. It's probably going to cause some problems in my marriage, but
it's okay.
Hunter Biden's able to get away with it, so
yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Good for him. Good for him. Can you afford the fancy retreats too, or?
Oh, that's what do you think?
Yeah, obviously. All right. Obviously, dumb question.
I mean, she don't.
Yeah.
This is what does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, that's the only. The reason why I asked that question is because there's one particular thing that drives me fucking nuts, and flesh tones are great.
Okay.
And I can fuck with those all. But hair, every time it comes down to fucking hair.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is or if it's just a mental block.
Yeah.
But any time that I think about hair, it drives me crazy. I specifically I've tried a couple times to break myself out of it.
Yeah.
But hair is like one of those ones that it's like just wear a hat or something. Like what
hats feel harder. The trick for hair is usually that it's like it's more chunky than you think it is, which is a weird thing to say, but it's like you run your hand through your hair and you're like, oh, there's a bunch of like thin little things to it, but when you're painting it, it's more like it's more chunky and there's like a less is more kind of quality to painting hair, right? Like I cheat, I use oils. So usually just like an oil wash and just like a quick highlight of like a complementary color. Done. I can't hear you.
All right. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm going to shit all over what you just said.
All right, please go ahead.
Everybody always calls this cheating. I disagree.
Okay.
It is just, we have found a different technique that works.
It's fair. That's fair.
I mean, half the shit that Evan does.
Yeah.
From It's What Evan is. I mean, and it looks fucking amazing.
It does. Absolutely. Evan's a great painter. He's so good. He's fast,
too hard on
too.
ourselves.
He's really fast. Yeah. For hair, I think it's just give it a wash of whatever brown or black or red or pink or whatever, and then hit it with a highlight. And usually that's good enough. Because most of the time, like hair like frames, so you don't necessarily need to draw a lot of attention to it. You like want to draw your attention to other things. So, less is more.
Yeah. And I definitely agree. And Colsever's definitely pushed that a bunch on me.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So did you, like the rest of us, end up quitting college halfway through, even though you were going for an arts major? Or did you?
No, I made it. I made it all the way. I made it all the way through a couple of times, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm a failed person, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Oh no. You're exploring new avenues. You're exploring. New avenues.
There's only so much that somebody could say. I had a teacher once literally tell me I would never go to class. I was too wrapped up in smoking weed and
having a good time. Else. Yeah.
And one teacher, because she liked me so much, she was like, "I'm going to give you a C so that you don't get a failure out of my class." And I thought that was the sweetest thing.
Awesome.
Ever. And then she punched me in the face.
Well, probably had it coming, you know.
That's true. That's funny. All right. Tally mark.
That's right. Put it on the board. Put it on the board. One truth stated.
Real quick, I understand that you once ran a smear campaign against a local politician. This is just from my tedious research on you.
Did I?
With all the information that's out there.
Of course, yeah. No. Who was it?
But you called them a dirty drink person? I was just wondering if there was any insight into that.
No comment.
Okay. All right. We'll eventually get to the bottom of that. Do some more independent research.
I'd say check your sources.
My sources are usually bad, so I probably won't do that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's a lot of bad people.
Yeah.
Anyways, so of course everybody knows Smash Bash.
I hope so.
It's been going over. Everybody in this hobby knows Smash Bash, and if you don't,
yeah, that's right.
Smashbash.org.
Smashbash.org. Yeah, that's right.
I didn't ask for your plugs yet, man.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Just edit it out. Edit it out. Let me retake it. 3, 2, 1. And
production.
Yeah.
Production.
Okay.
All right. No, man. I mean, that's one of those things that really, really reminds me of the hardcore scene and the metal scene. Whenever I was growing up, this collaboration of a bunch of different people all doing different things and assisting each other, and it's like everybody has their own band with their own page. I mean, it's a beautiful. I think it's a beautiful thing to see, especially with all the people that put in entries and everything else. So,
I totally agree. Yeah, I'm really blown away with how people have taken to it and all the different things that they cook up when they're doing it, and the really positive response I've gotten from running it and from like showcasing the art and getting people excited about it and getting people involved in it. I think it's really important to have something that's free and accessible and weird, that gives people something to do or something to look forward to. And so, it's been really great to run the last 3 years, and excited to figure out what Smash Bash 4 looks like. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive that there's going to be a lot of riots and a lot of angry people. Maybe especially from the 2 people that are listening to this right now, to this podcast.
Yep.
They would be angry.
They would.
I know they would.
Don't be though. Don't be.
It's my mom and my dead dad both watching it.
Both watching. Right, good. We're working on the important things.
Telefeed going in.
To the coffin. Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
I just keep hoping and praying.
Yeah, that's the important thing.
Prayers.
It's going to solve our problems, so it's good.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
I think that there's no thing that thoughts and prayers couldn't fix.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that, Matt?
Only prayers.
Oh, yeah. No thoughts.
Yeah.
Takes away from the prayer.
Hey, you have the thoughts. I'll take the praying. Yeah.
So it's a combined thing.
I think so.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, gaining insight. I feel like this podcast is only for me to learn more about you.
That's right.
And eventually stalk you.
Okay.
Music specifically that you're listening to. Anything in particular?
Let's see. What have I been like grinding on the last couple days? Full of Hell just put out a new split with.
Oh my god!
It's super good. Super good with Scowl, right? Scowl.
Yeah.
And yes, I've been really liking that. I've been listening to all the Shoo Shoo records again by Jamie Stewart. Those are really good.
Sure.
The new Chained, obviously. New old Chained to the Bottom of the Ocean. Super good. Really heavy. And then the very first Joan of Arc album.
Like whenever she was being like executed on the mound? Or?
Yeah, that one. Just her agonizing screams that they recorded.
I mean, it makes sense. And not to... a lot of ways it makes sense. Not to correct you on that whole thing, but were you talking about Gasp from Full of Hell?
Is it Gasp?
Yeah, it's Gasp and Full of Hell split. They might have done one with Scowl too.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Perfect. I stand corrected. I sit corrected. Absolutely.
Well, no. We have our producers in the back, and they're just coming up with
right. They'll fix it. They'll fix it. I only lose a few points of cred, so yeah, it's good.
Yeah, you're down 6 points.
Yeah. I'll take it. Maybe I can gain it back. We'll see. No problem.
Yeah, we'll see.
No problem.
So going back to Smash Bash a little bit. So what was the main thought there? Because I know what it takes. Like I just recently applied for my business license. I got my business license to run my shop and be able to go to festivals and fairs and things like that.
Yep.
What was the thought process whenever it first came into your mind, and like how did that whole thing work out in the very beginning?
Yeah, so it was the when the pandemic started, they did the Armies on Parade online, right? They had that whole thing where they were doing it online, and I put together this huge thing, and I'm like, this is fucking sick. I have done it. I have achieved something here. And a bunch of other people did some really, really cool Armies on Parade boards. This guy, Jeremy, the real Broken Fingers, did this fucking huge Titan diorama that was all the buildings were hand sculpted, and there were 35 Marines on it, and there was a Titan crashing through these huge buildings. It must have been 5 feet tall. And then the people who ultimately won it were just kind of doing heavy metal stuff, right? Which is good. It's fine. It's technical. It's whatever. But I was I wasn't super thrilled by that. I was just I don't know. This doesn't seem, it seems like their Games Workshop wants to sell you stuff. They want to sell you paints. They want to sell you a way of painting. And the contest, I think, is ultimately about that stuff, right? Is showcasing their models in the best light with the techniques that they want to see. Fair enough, right? So I got pissed and I had a lot of free time on my hands, and decided that I should do a contest that highlighted the things that I wanted to see in competition.
Right.
So I did. So that's how it started.
Well, no, that's great. Again, going to a lot of the people that I've met in the community seem to be very much, I've kind of drifted over into the kit bashers and not sticking to those models. And it's great to use some of their parts, but
yeah.
I mean, it all goes to that kind of Wizards of the Coast thing, that Hasbro thing, where everybody doesn't want a bunch of people to have a lot of fun. They just don't want to sell product.
Want to sell product and want you to follow the rules, and then sell more product, and then follow the rules, and then sell more product. And it's that's the sort of the most shameful or least interesting part of the hobby, right? Is having to buy all this plastic and try to follow some tutorial that uses 8 different $10 pots of green that you can that you can mix out of blue and yellow. So it's
right. Yeah. Well, I mean, and I'm victim of that. As
yeah, of course,
sure
we
a
all
lot
are.
of people that are listening. Yeah, I mean, I forget what the name of it's foundation. They have like this whole line.
Yeah, a whole line of like how you know, like you can, if you follow these steps, you can do these things. And it's, you know, from my perspective, it's not, it just feels like the least interesting way to do painting for me, right? Like I don't want to follow the rules to like paint something that looks like something else. I just want to see what like I'm capable of, I guess, with sort of my intuition. I don't know. That's probably, it sounds like an asshole, but it's sort of just like,
no, I do have that. I do have that exact same quote. It's kind of like live, laugh, love style.
Right.
Yeah.
In the different fonts and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I
think I got it off Facebook too. Yeah. We have the same.
I think what's her name? Anyways, whatever. No, I think that's right.
Yeah.
I was going to say Sandra Bullock in Blindside, but we all know that that's fake now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people suck ass. No, I get what you're saying. Like, what I was saying too is like, there's a company that does like on the go like paint sets, and they have like a big suitcase thing that I bought to hold all my Citadel paints and shit.
Yeah.
And like the Vallejo, and like I get them through different kinds of fucking
all the brands.
Yeah, the fucking Pro Acrylic, and I still like Pro Acrylic, but here's my fucking thing. Like ever since, so I was gonna try to mix it up with a lot of we call it squash. Me and Cole.
Okay.
It's not gouache anymore. It's just squash.
Squash.
It's
okay.
not gouache.
Yeah. No.
It's not. It's just squash.
It's not gouache. Squash.
Yeah, I fucking hate all of those. They can all burn in hell.
All right.
Squash is what it is from now on.
Squash paint. Yep, got it.
Squash paint and oil paints.
Yeah.
And it's like a completely different. I tried it out one time, and then after that, I was like, I don't think I want to do anything else.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's really nice. It's very easy to work with. It's very forgiving. It blends itself, many times, which is really nice, I think it's the hard part of sort of like working with like an acrylic and letting it dry and then adding another layer on top and letting it dry and adding another layer.
I fucking hate that.
Yeah. You can do a lot of that sort of like wet blending stuff on the models itself with an acrylic, but I find it's just easier with the squash paints because you can.
I know Cole's watching; he's going to appreciate that.
Reactivate it with water, So yeah. So it's like it's just easier. You could do it with the paints you have. So, but I like squash.
I think that a lot of people. Yeah, squash is fucking amazing.
It's great.
Of course it is. It came from me and Cole.
That's right. Absolutely.
Understandable. That sounds like I'm fucking the opposite of you, being the humble person, very beginning, fooling everybody into believing that you're a decent person.
You gotta, there's a heel, and then there's, just the other side.
So I'm the heel in every.
Yeah.
I guess the reason why I was pulled to acrylics at the very beginning is because everybody uses them, and there's nothing saying that there's anything wrong about them whatsoever.
No, yeah.
But it very much does feel like painting by number.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you use acrylics, as opposed to putting something together that actually has texture, that doesn't require, it's good for people. Acrylics are good for people that want very precise, a precise look, right?
Yeah.
But, or at least from my opinion,
I think it's like it's maybe even less than just the Games Workshop, like hobby paints in particular. I think less the medium and more the mode. More like the like how it's presented. There's 35 named colors, right, and like different consistencies and different textures, and all of that stuff is like you want to have access to that stuff. But you don't need to. For sure. You don't need to buy access to that stuff, right? Like you don't need to buy a special paint to get like a runnier red or like a more high, a better coverage red, right? Like you can make that
right.
with, easier, I guess, or not, I don't know, easier, but it's you can.
But you can actually make it.
Yeah, you can make it.
You get to make it, which is part of the process of kind of understanding your paints and, in my opinion, be a little bit more skilled at getting that color that you wish to achieve.
Yeah, there's a lot of appeal in just sort of being able to kind of paint by numbers. I started with paint by numbers. I was I loaded up the Warhammer videos and watched them and tried to do them and tried to sort of figure all that out. But and I think it's helpful as a jumping off point. But I'm a spaz and I wanted to I just got bored. I was just like I can't do this. There has to be some different way that I could paint that isn't following this process because it's rotting my brain.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I can do.
Yeah, and you can definitely get crisp edges for either way. I think the thing that I run into a lot is that I would rather, if I'm thinking about a horrifying monster, it's not perfect in any way, shape, or form. And I feel like that's the goal with a lot of acrylic paint, but other people have, proven that wrong and can do the Grimdark Compendium guy.
Yeah.
I think he does acrylic paint.
Sure.
And he's good at that.
Yeah, totally.
I just don't think that it's the look that I just want a very nasty look, and I can achieve that more, I feel.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for having really unrefined work, or for having a really sort of unfinished, a lot of the more contemporary quote good painting really refines everything and kind of flattens what's 3D about the model, right? It's a three-dimensional model. And the kind of the quote gold standard of painting is to fully render that 3D-ness, which ultimately feels like it just flattens it out. And so that's I don't know, for me it's more fun to sort of incorporate its 3D-ness into the painting process and not try to re-render the 3D, right? Just use it's already there, just use it.
Right, exactly. And I think that's, I don't know, that's the beautiful thing to me about oil and squash, is because I feel like I've finally found a niche that I can kind of belong to, but still use, I'll still use Citadel paints that have the crackle effect, or give you a texture of some sort, but I just don't use them to. I'm not trying for a golden demon.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, getting back to even again, Smash Bash, I'm not a competitive person whatsoever.
Sure. Me either.
And to join a competition where there's no stakes besides having fun and looking at other people's models,
right?
You again, we're getting back to the kissing ass after IBS thing.
Sure.
But that to me is that's top tier shit. That's what a community that I would want to be a part of is.
Oh, that's so good to hear. Yeah. That's great. I'm really excited that it comes off that way, because I did struggle having it be should it be a competition? I think it's cool. I think it's cool to have judges and to have it be, not competitive, but to submit your work to your peers and have them judge it and have them ultimately deliberate and decide on something that they think is good. And I think that's rewarding. That's rewarding for me when I do it. And so I hope it's rewarding for other people. It's no shade on anything that doesn't ultimately get spoken about, but it's I feel like there is a way to do, to have, to demarcate sort of like a good, better, best, right? This is the best, and we think it's very good, but it's our judgment ultimately, right? So you just tell us to fuck off, and it's who cares? Who cares, right? If you like it, you liking it is the most important thing. So Yeah.
And he's trying to go for full circle with this and like kind of back up a little bit and go, yeah, I mean, it's what you like. But what he specifically said to me was, we think your work and a lot of other people's that join the competition are dog shit. So it's good that you like your own stuff.
It is. It's important. It's important. It's important. It's important to like your own stuff for sure. And like, cause you know, I mean, I know that there is unfortunately like a tendency to look at your own work and think, oh God, this is shit. You know, it doesn't look like this other person's, or it's not good, or it's not like that. There's always this draw to sort of like point out what's not there and treat that like it's a negative rather than a positive, right? Like to assess your own work on its own merits and try and figure out whether or not it's saying something interesting. That's right. Yeah, that's what I would recommend you be concerned with. But you know, it's your life. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. No, I mean it's definitely one thing that's going to be in people's heads. Like especially when we first start out is, well, mine doesn't look like this, and it could be better because this person's looks better than mine. But I think it's important for people to just like you were saying, and also just stick with it because it's not something that's just like you gain a certain level of respect so you start doing better. You just got to be able to respect your own work.
Yeah, and I think there's a place for going like, oh, this isn't very good, and I don't like it, and I don't like these things about it. And that fine, right? Like good. You should sort of critically examine your own work, but also you critically examine for the positive things, the things that you like about what you did, the things that you do again, and why you do them again. And you can kind of bridge all of those little experiments together into a cohesive way of working, which ultimately produces delightful and cohesive results for yourself. So, you know, like lean into both sides of that, right? Like lean into the like, oh, this isn't very good, and try to stop doing things that you don't particularly like, and also lean into like these are the things that I do like, and work more in that direction.
Yeah, I've definitely been one of those people that are like, I don't know why the fuck I posted that.
Sure.
I feel like I should take a shit on a live stream on directly that project because that was fucking awful.
No,
it's a learning process.
It's a learning process, and the nice thing about posting is that nobody looks at it anyways, right? Like it's for it's for you, or that's what I assume anyways. I just assume nobody gives a shit. And nobody's like looking at it, because that's the easiest way to put it out there is to just go like, I like this I like, I think it's cool. Hopefully other people will think it's cool too when they scroll past it, and that's gotta be good enough, all right? Like
and I agree. It shouldn't be all about. I was making a joke earlier about.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
But at the same time, it really is because in the end. Nobody's going to give a fuck about you.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares about you.
And ultimately, you won't care. You won't care about it in like 3 days, right? Like once, you set it down, and you look at it, you're like, oh, this is the best, or oh, this is the worst, right? You'll forget about it. You too will forget.
I still think about it to this day.
Okay.
I literally see this direct item in my head.
You will. Like, what is the direct item? Describe it for me.
Oh, it is. I felt like a great kit bash, but the painting job I was using, this is right before I started using oils and gouache, and he looked great. And then I got to the hair, and it's so highlighted in black and not matching his skin tone that I'm like, I will go fuck yourself, little mini. Like,
ruined it. Just reprime it and go again.
Oh, and Johnny O Sculpt had made this amazing fucking shield. I don't know if you follow him, but he's got a lot of good pieces. That he's got an excellent art style.
Nice.
He's sculpted and made, but I fucking ruined that shield. The shield looks great. It's on the wrong fucking mini.
It's on the wrong mini. Cut it off and put it on the right mini then.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah,
you got to do it.
Just worry.
You just got to do it.
You keep on layering up that paint. I don't know if it's gonna.
Oh, you don't have that heavy a hand. You're gonna be fine. Yeah, just pull it off. Yeah. That's how you get texture.
Okay,
it's fine. Whatever.
Well, this is going to turn into an inspiration podcast.
That's right.
So that's right. From medical.
That's right.
Have you ever heard of? You said you listen to hardcore. Have you ever listened to Spy before?
I don't think so.
That is some of the best.
I'm looking.
And I may get shit on for this.
Okay.
But I fucking love them. Spy. I think on. Well, they're definitely on Spotify, but.
I found them.
Sometimes they go under Spy International. They're fucking fantastic. Check them out.
I'll check them out. I'll check them out.
I'm obsessed with them, and I will never stop talking about them.
All right. Good
I know that, and I almost bought the book too. I know that you've been doing some Hobgoblin stuff lately. Where's some of that kind of inspiration and stuff coming from?
Oh, that's all my man Greg. Greg, who's running the Hobgoblin thing, has like a really crisp vision for what he's looking for. And so he just told me what it was, and I did that. So I didn't have to think.
That's
at
cool.
All. Yeah. He was like, I want it this way, and I want these things in it, and go for it. I was like, all right, sick. So yeah, it's basically his vision. I'm just living in it, and it's great.
Oh yeah. No, I saw very little about it. I do not play any. I have not played a war game. The only thing I've ever played is D&D.
Okay.
A lot of these kit bashes and stuff like that, it's mostly painting, and I want to get into it, like the Necropolis 28 guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
With Owl Shield.
Yeah.
Fucking dope as fuck.
So cool.
Blight Bones. Sculpting some of those things.
So cool.
And I really want to get into that stuff, but there are too many enlightened people around here that are not into that. And there's not a huge community.
Yeah, that's
But there are a lot of these guys on the Hive Scum channel that have kind of reached out, and we may do something soon. So
I know there's some people like in your area that do weirdo shit. Not like your area, but like in the greater Texas area, which is, I guess, you might as well say there's people in Spain that play Warhammer or something like that, right?
Like, well, and by weirdo shit, you don't mean build buoys to keep out immigrants that are trying to come here for a good reason?
Not for hobby reasons, I don't think. No. I mean, maybe. Lord knows. But.
These are terrible fucking people here. There are some garbage people in Texas, and I'm the first person to say it.
All right,
ever of all time.
Look at them go.
Texas has always been a very upstanding area.
Hot takes.
Nobody's ever had any problems with them whatsoever. Never tried to secede or anything.
Nope, it's all good.
So what kind of, what's the regular thing that you... So, there's a lot of games that people are into, and there's a lot of guys that are playing fucking games all the time, constantly, and it's all different kinds of stuff. Is there anything narrowed down that you've kind of Mordheim? Or...
Yeah, Mordheim is the last war game that I've played in the last long time. Really, in any kind of meaningful way. I did Nemo 23 that the Hive Scum guys put on, and that was the first time in a long time that I've played more than one war game in, I don't know, 20 years or something like that.
Yeah.
You know? So Mordheim is the first real game that I've played. I unfortunately have built armies for a number of games that I have not played. So I have 2 full Warhammer 40K armies. I have a Warhammer Fantasy Battle army. I built something for Hobgoblin myself. I built a Marvel Crisis Protocol strike team.
Yeah,
what else? What else have I done? Just a million fucking things. I'm 15 Necromunda gangs, 3 things for Warcry, 2 boards to play Warcry on, 3 boards to play Necromunda on. And I haven't played any of those games. So
that's what I keep on running into. I know eventually I will play my first game of something.
Right.
I've picked up tons of books.
Right.
I'm super into.
You're ready. Yeah.
Like fucking. I've been wanting to play fucking Morkborg with a lot of people.
Sure, yeah.
We're really wanting to do Forbidden Psalm.
Yes.
Acropolis 28. There's just so fucking many.
Right.
And I keep on looking at new. So Hobgoblin came out.
Right. And you're like, ooh, maybe this one.
I might want to buy that book.
All right.
And I'm like, what? It's another fucking game I can't play with anybody.
Yeah. I think like if you don't have like a contingent of people, the only thing that's worked for me is to go like, I'm going to go to this event and make something to play in it.
Yeah.
And then schedule it, book it, and then you're on the hook. And then you have to do it. So that was the only thing that's worked for me. And I'll probably do something similar to Adepticon this year. I don't know what I'm going to play, but I'll play something.
So do you ever? So the one question I think that a lot of people would have, especially if they're starting out and they're in the same position as me, I know a lot of people point to like just go up and ask to play something and start playing.
Yeah.
A lot of people are kind of apprehensive about it just because they don't know the rules. Is there any kind of advice you can give on that? I think, specifically for me and nobody else.
Yeah, sure. For only for you and for you alone. I like if you don't know conventions are a great way to do it, right? Because like almost all the games that you'd want to play have booths that will like intro you in the most customer friendly way possible to whatever they're selling. You know, like especially if it's not like if it's not one of the big ones like Warhammer or Marvel Crisis or X-Wing or Star Wars, like anything that's like one step below that will have in terms of like reach, we'll have like people to teach you to play. So if you're like
things I want to play.
Yeah, it's like fair enough. In that case, they even have stuff too. It's just
I'm saying like I would rather play the
tier 2. Yeah. So I think that like game conventions and stuff like that is probably a really good way to learn. And then the other way is just to make friends with somebody who knows and have them teach you. Cole taught me how to play Mordheim, so like he knew what he was doing and I didn't. Yeah, so you're friends with Cole. Have him teach you how to play games.
He's a wonderful human being.
He is. It's true.
Sweet.
It's very sweet. We love him.
Yeah, just want to
Cole, I love you.
Hug. He's like a goddamn teddy bear.
He is.
How could you not fucking love that?
He's very sweet. He's very sweet.
All right. So, a few more questions, then I'll get you out of here because I know that you have a presidential race that you're running.
That's true. That's true. It's ground stages right now.
Of the HOA.
Of the HOA. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any specific? And I understand one of the first options is probably going to be the thing. Is there? I'm a huge film head.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes to a lot of my art and what I draw inspiration from, are there any particular films that really kind of draw to you as kind of like those films you go to whenever you're looking for inspiration?
That's a good question. I'm like, I might be an outlier in this that I don't typically like fire up something and go, I'm gonna make something that looks like this, right? Like I want to make a creature that's like what I saw in The Thing, which would be the movie that I like the most. That's like you know, there's like that. But you know, like almost any body horror stuff, I like, you know, I don't know, like what everybody likes, right? The most recent stuff that I've seen, I saw, what's the one where they do like the handshake and there's like and they like commune with the dead. It's new. I can't think of it. It's Australian or New Zealand-ish. Oh. They're like from New Zealand or Australia. Sorry, Trent. It's like it's like some handshake possession movie, and that one was super sick. I really like that.
Wait a second. Yeah, no. No, because it's got the
not,
got the plaster hand.
Yeah, the plaster hand. It's not let the
I
right
just went and saw that.
Which I did.
No,
which I did. Like,
but
speak to me.
Also,
let me in. Come in.
Speak to me.
Speak to
talk
me.
To me.
There we talk to
speak
me.
To me. Talk
to me. Something like that. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, communicate with your lips with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the name of it. Yeah,
so I saw that, and I thought that was super sick. I think I like all the 80s and 70s like grindhouse stuff. I think that's got like a really good kind of slapstick gore vibe to it that really appeals to me. Anything with squibs, anything with with really disgusting practical effects. That's
Have you seen The Void?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah, it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah. Super good.
A lot of the stuff that we listen to or watch on the channel, our ATI podcast. There's a lot of Cronenberg stuff.
Oh, yeah, I love Cronenberg. Better earlier than later. Personally, don't hate.
Yeah, I mean, some of the newer stuff is there,
a little
but
bit.
It's a little like less. I see it.
I like it. Like I watched.
Yeah, I still watch it.
Like, but yeah. I like what the sun's up to.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that
antiviral. I really liked antiviral. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
That sits with me like a lump in my stomach. That's a good one. So that and then like
horror.
Body
also a lump in your stomach.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It will destroy me.
Slowly from the
inside,
outside in.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Last thing, there's a little session that we like to call Kindness Corner. And Barrett, if you could put a graphic up of the Giving Tree with Steve Buscemi kind of hiding within the little leaves of the tree, just kind of like his little bug eyes out, that would be great. Is there any bit of what I did for the last show, when I plan on doing for the shows coming on in the coming months, is a bit of kindness, a little bit of something that somebody may have done for you, or something that you can offer up to somebody else as not a monetary value, although, we don't need your money, we have enough, or a bit of something that you can relinquish onto everybody else and give them advice. It could be medical. We've gone over that. It could be physical. You could do a lap dance on your own chair right now. That could be inspirational and
could
hopeful.
Be
and kind. You could forgive that politician and not go after his family anymore.
Okay. Could do that.
It's up to you. And I don't feel bad about putting you on the spot.
Okay, all right. I wouldn't either. A little bit of kindness. I think really what you're going to want to do for yourself is eat more apples. I'm sorry,
there was a little bit of interference.
Yeah.
Was that assholes or
apples? I suppose you could do that too, but that's
a wonderful. We've now completely destroyed this section of the show for eating ass.
It could be kind. It could be kind.
It can be very kind.
I'm gonna go. I will go for the apples though. I'm not no judgment. Whatever you heard.
Eat some apples specifically for any reason in particular. Like you feel like the Apple community is not getting its just.
I feel yeah. Everybody in the Midwest, they're really suffering out there. They need you. There's enough farm subsidies to go around, but the Apple community truly underserved. So eat those apples.
I agree.
Yeah.
And what I take from this is that instead of carving jack-o'-lanterns, maybe carve a apple or two.
Carve an apple. Be valiant. Carve a squash.
You could carve a squash. You could indeed. But don't. Just leave our paints alone.
Leave my paints
great.
alone.
Hey man, I know you just got off work.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to plug, or if you would like another bit of kindness, it would just be an experience that maybe you've had while you've been in the community that made you feel really good about?
Oh, for sure. I've got a bunch of those. Absolutely. A bit of kindness.
Well, shit, it's kindness.
I would say, you know, it's always nice when you get random presents. So try to get a random present from someone. And I guess the first person to DM me on Instagram, DM me. I'll mail you something, as long as you're in America. Even if you're not in America, DM me. I'll mail you something. It'll be cool. I promise. So that will be my little bit of kindness.
So your kindness is to solicit items from you.
Yeah. That would be kind, right? Yeah. Wouldn't that be? Wouldn't it be nice if somebody
a wonderful thing.
Something? No. Okay, all right.
No, I've misunderstood. No. I mean, no. Hey, so this whole thing with the prompt is you decide what the kindness is.
Sure.
So everybody just hit up Matt right now and ask for something.
I'll give you something cool.
The title to his car, or
you can ask me for something particular, but you won't necessarily get it. I'll give you something that I think you'll like.
That's fair enough. It's probably going to be an apple, everybody. It's probably going to be an apple.
Yeah, one apple from America's heartland, probably what you're going to get,
or an asshole. It could be an asshole as well.
It would be difficult to mail, but I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. USPS needs a lot of help, so they'll probably just ship it in.
That's true. True. They would. Plugs.
Anything you want to plug, bud?
What am I doing? I'd like to plug that I'm mailing Smash Bash stuff this weekend. If you won something, you're gonna get, like, I'm mailing it out this weekend. That's a big one for me.
Awesome.
Smash Bash 4 is coming sometime in the future, so be on the lookout for that. I'm teaching at Adepticon again next year, which is like super far in the future. Subscribe to Hive Scum on Patreon.
Fuck yeah.
Subscribe to Hive Scum on Patreon. You got to do that.
Yeah, you have to.
And join the Hive Scum Discord. It's the only hobby related thing I check that isn't Instagram. So yeah, join that and ask some questions there.
Oh yeah,
those are my
great
plugs.
guys.
Yeah, super great guys.
Well, they should be on the show here in the next couple. I think that they're on
they're probably
the September or October show.
Yeah, nice, awesome.
So it should be a good time. And
totally.
Hey man, I really appreciate you being here
for sure.
and talking to me today. You didn't hesitate in talking to me. So what everybody should do from now on is just ask Matt to do things, because he can't turn things down apparently.
That's true. You can't ask me to do basically anything, and
even if he's crying, he'll do it.
I will do it. I forgot to also say, I don't know if there's a Between the Bolts or Me patron, but you should subscribe to them.
Oh, there is
after you subscribe to Hive Scum.
Oh,
sorry.
I don't know if that was a hit or not.
Sorry,
I don't know. Oh my God! Oh Jesus! Yeah, I'm actually following both. I will look at the drama and all the people that are constantly viewing my channel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate it, man.
Of course.
Thank you for being here. And if anybody needs to check him out, it's at Totally Not Panicking on Instagram. Or you can have his personal address, which we will put in the comments below. His phone number, his credit card numbers, and everything that might involve him giving a little bit of himself to you.
That's right.
And that is not sexual in any way. That's part of the NDA. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Love you very much. Go fuck yourselves, and talk to you soon.
Bye.
This is Barrett from the ATI Podcast. Each week, Josh and I discuss current events, pop culture, music, TV, movies, politics, sports. Nothing is out of bounds. You can also tune in to learn about rising artists, small businesses. Whether it's music, graphic design, filmmaking, or even a brick-and-mortar mom-and-pop shop, we will be spotlighting folks and their endeavors. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Anchor, or anywhere you enjoy your podcasts. Just search ATI Podcast. We would like to thank you for your continued support, and as always, please stay safe out there.
Hey, this is Josh from ATI Podcast. For show updates and news about the podcast, follow us on social media. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ATI Podcast 22, on Twitter at podcast_ATI, on Instagram at the ATI Podcast, on TikTok at ATI Podcast. DMs are always welcome. Have a question for the show? You can always email us at atipodcastquestions@gmail.com. Stay safe out there.